Hello and welcome to the 100th episode of Hardcast.
Yay.
I'm Humphrey Erm.
And I'm Michael.
Lifeline. Give me secret weapons. Issue 1. We're in Oklahoma City in an underground lair, where a mad scientist-type person is bathing some monster in blood. Said monster has tentacle arms and shows its powers by dismembering some mannequins. We then meet Nikki, a Sayat who can talk to birds, which, in a big city, basically means pigeons. Livewire is investigating a former Harbinger base called The Willows, where a Harada hologram explains that it was a place to house rejected Sayats, whose powers weren't useful enough. Livewire makes it her mission to find the remaining rejects in order to help them, now that they don't have the protection of Harbinger anymore. We then see Martin escaping the monster from the beginning, and since his power is to make things glow, he isn't able to put up much of a fight. Luckily, he's saved by Nikki, who runs off from the monster but has it in close pursuit. We then meet Owen, who, while working in a store, accidentally conjures a shotgun, getting himself fired. Out on the streets, he's led by the traffic and nightlights to Nikki, who's lying in the trash, hurt. They're almost caught by the monster, but Livewire saves them and manages to decipher the monster's name, Rexo. The next day, Nikki and Owen follow Livewire's instructions that she put on an electronic street sign, and meet her in an old theater that will be their base. Lastly, Martin goes to crash at a friend's place, only to see him murdered, with Rexo in the room looming over an unsuspecting Martin.
Well done.
Yeah, no, that's, again, another tough one like last week with, yes, a lot of stuff happening. But, I just love this concept ever since I heard about it, and I'm so glad I got to read it now.
Yeah. Good for you. Welcome to Secret Weapons.
No, but it's just something fun. Like, it's fun with having, characters who are supposed to have, like, the cool powers. Okay. You have your Supermans and even Batman with his gadgets, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And even in Valiant, you have Exo Manowar with the most powerful suit of armor in the universe or whatever. Even Livewire in this very comic who can, communicate with any technology. So and then you have Martin. Oh yeah,
so he can make stuff glow.
Again, not entirely useless, but yeah, in a world that's all about sort of combat and stuff, yeah, probably not super good.
Yeah, it's a totally new concept. It's nice. It's a new one for Valiant. It's the name of the old Valiant series, Secret Weapons. Used to be just a superhero team up, and so they really flipped it on its head, and it's very much character driven and. It's the only thing I collected in single issues.
Oh, damn. So you usually wait for the trade then?
Mm-hmm. Always. But this thing was just so beautiful. The covers are just so gorgeous. The art is just so incredible. I think it's the first thing they put out in these fancy, hard, cardboard sleeves. They call it Prestige Edition or whatever.
Mm.
So, yeah, this was this moment where I was like, wow, this is the future of Valiant. It's going to be amazing. And everything about it is just sweet. Rexo is an old Valiant property as well. Did you know that?
I did not.
Rexo. He has maybe the dumbest name ever, but he's kind of a cool concept.
Well, I mean, the name would imply that he's sort of like a nemesis to Exo.
I don't think they're related. I think he just literally has a dumb name.
Oh, really? It sounds like, we have Exo Manowar and his nemesis, Rexo Manowar.
Yes. Yes, with an extra letter. Yeah, no, he's just an alien guy in Harbinger.
All right. Because I was kind of thinking when I saw the overall shape and such, I was wondering, and also with, we find out his name later, but the scavenger, when he's asking him about if they were doing this in the past.
Oh, yeah.
So it made me wonder then if he's just a vine.
He's got some alien something about him, yeah, for sure. But nobody knows what that is.
All right. Oh, actually, sorry. Yes, just mentioning that as a little thing about last week's episode, that also struck me as would be a great Britannia story.
Oh yeah, would be awesome, wouldn't it? If it would just tie into some.
Well, with Divine, I mean, they're everywhere.
They could be there. They could be there because they picked up EXO at that time, right? More or less.
No, that would be later, but I'm pretty sure they've been going at it way before then too.
Okay.
So, but wouldn't that be something then? You know, like a victim who turns out to be a Vine, or maybe has someone who's helping but is also changing things. And I'm sorry, just Britannia has so many cool things that you could do and still have it be in the Valiant universe, like more properly.
So now you love Britannia again. Good.
Like I've said, I like the concept. Anyways, back to the story at hand.
How do you like the art?
I think for the most part, I really like it. But I'm not sure if the artist is the best at action all the times. Like, for example, in the introduction to Nikki, in the last panel of her introduction page, well, not the third, like the last page of that, when she's jumping from the building.
Yeah.
I don't feel, I get what she's doing. She's leaping from, that building to the next.
Yeah.
But her pose doesn't quite, her pose looks more like sort of a Superman or Storm pose. Sort of more like a float more than a leap. Not a big deal. It's not oh man, this ruins it. But it did stick out to me.
Yeah, that ruined the comic for me, totally.
But other than that, though, I mean, it's obviously the artist is very talented. On that very same page, you have a really nice perspective shot of Nikki from the top, looking down onto a very nicely drawn car.
Yeah.
And even before then, too, just a nice city view as well. It's like you can feel that the artist knows how to draw. It's not like an amateur. But it seems like they're much better for slower, more character scenes rather than action.
Dude, I totally had the different feeling. I thought the action in this book is more exciting than in a lot of the other books. Just because it has that cinematic feel. There's always something happening. Like with the fight with Rexo in the swimming pool, and the birds are coming down out of the skylight. There's so much movement, No,
I think in concept it's great because again, it's also I have to think that I don't quite see why Harada would not think that Nikki would be useful, considering the stuff she does throughout the book.
She talks to some birds.
That's the thing, though. Again, espionage. I mean, who pays attention to birds, right? You just have a bird. Okay, go fly by that place over there and just listen into what those people are saying. I mean, it's perfect. But during that scene, the first panel of all the birds coming in attacking Rexo, that's cool. But then the whole, all the panels of her leaping with that, I guess it's that, what's called leaf skimmer. I don't know. It's not that it's badly drawn, but it doesn't quite have the kinetic energy that I would be expecting from that kind of action.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's me being very picky because there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just me personally, I feel I've seen artists get action a lot better.
But the style is very different, right? I mean, is it a word? Can I say illustratorly?
So, yeah, I think I know what you mean. You mean that there's a little bit more, not necessarily detail, but there's some good use of color. It feels very graphic in a way.
Yeah, it looks like here's what you do if you study graphic design.
Oh, no, definitely. So the artist definitely has a way of framing, composition really works.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to make this into an animation, this would be just great. This would be just a sweet style to see animated.
Oh, no, certainly. I mean, again, it's very nice. I mean, I kind of, not now that we mentioned a bit with color and such, I just love the stark contrast right after the fight, when she leaps away and then Rexo leaps out. Next page, we see Owen at the store and green.
Yeah, it's a 4-color comic, actually.
Exactly, but it's so cool, though. I guess the way yeah, there we go. It's all done really well. I mean, like I said, my only issue was some of the action. And that's that's a forgivable offense, so to speak, if we were to call it an offense.
That's funny. Okay. How about the creepiness factor?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Rexo's creepy, I guess, but not really. Like, he actually reminded me a bit of a character from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, he's a Star Wars. Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, well, specifically from, did you ever see that 2D animated Star Wars? You know, the Clone Wars?
No, of course not.
Okay, because they had a character there that only appeared there and some comics called the Dirge. And he was kind of similar with like a cool mask, and he sort of had the same kind of like body in terms of like a big muscly dude, but also like these kinds of like tentacle like the arms, like he could turn into them.
And a sword, I guess, and a lightsaber.
No, he wasn't a Jedi or a Sith. He was a villain guy, but he could kind of regenerate a lot, so it's kind of one of those things.
Wasted opportunity.
But he has kind of reminded me a bit of that when I saw like how the arms moved with the tentacles and stuff.
I mean, the last panel of the book, second last, you see him. You see Martin there and his dead roomie, and they've got the exact same pose, right? Like Martin standing there with the baseball bat, and the Rexo guy is next to him with a sword. That is creepy. Come on, that is super creepy. And the way it constantly alternates, there's like a happy scene and then a scary scene. You know, I just think that is brilliant.
Certainly.
A little bit of scary stuff. That is brilliant.
Well, it has a bit of a thriller-like feel.
Definitely.
You know, you have this killer on the loose. Only in this case, it's like this monster who's seeking these people with powers.
In the 90s, he was bigger, by the way. He was like twice as big.
Well, maybe he's gotten to eat more, or maybe he's bathed in more Sayat blood there.
Definitely, yeah. Well, everything was bigger in the 90s.
So, no, that's cool. I mean, I got to say, I was very disappointed because, you know, like, well, not disappointed, but I was really curious about Martin because, again, out of all of them, he does seem to have the most useless power.
He did, yeah.
And I was thinking like, oh, you know, I hope they save him now. And then, as we'll see later on, it's like, oh, okay, he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
And in a way, if I were to be like super critical, in a way that almost feels like defeating the theme of the book then. Since the other three, sure, they have quote-unquote useless powers, but not really that bad, you know, even in the like most basic sense.
Yeah, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, but then in this case with Martin, like I was really curious. Okay, how is he gonna use this? And it's like, oh no, he's not.
Yeah, no, definitely. It would have been cool. Would have been cool to see. But I think that's not the point of this story. It's about like the real challenge for these guys is that they are rejects. You know, it's not that the powers are bad. It's just that they are written off. They are thrown out. You know, and that's why they're in trouble. But once they get together, then, as we'll see, they stand more of a chance, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. And I like that. I always like that. I mean, that's kind of the point of any team book, I feel.
That's kind of, yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why we don't have, you know, what's called Nikki issue 1, except for the issue 0 we have, but...
Yeah.
But, you know, we don't have a Nikki ongoing, you know, but we have Secret Weapons, which, sure, is not an ongoing, but as a concept, it works. It's kind of like with the Fantastic Four, because every so often they're going to give solo stories for them.
Yeah, but those are real superheroes, right? I mean, they can survive on their own.
Oh, no, certainly. But even then, I kind of feel like, yeah, but the whole point is that it's a team book. Definitely. Like you can have stories every so often where they're on their own and stuff, you know, to explore them more. But the whole point is it's the Fantastic Four. Yep. That's the fun thing.
That together they're more fantastic.
Exactly. Also, in terms of another comparison, kind of a little bit reminds me of Batman and the Outsiders. Okay. Do you know that one?
I don't know what that is, but I immediately get the idea.
Yeah, no, I mean the name is very obvious with it.
I think I got the idea. So they're outsiders?
Yeah. He basically what's called Batman makes his own little super team away from the Justice League.
Good.
So I forget the members. I think it's Black Lightning, Metamorpho, and Katana.
Oh, Katana, cool.
So yeah, it's like, it's I can't remember exactly the reason for it, but I'm guessing it was that he didn't think the Justice League was doing things properly. But it's kind of that kind of thing here too. He gets these people who are not, who are not the A-listers.
Yeah, but that's great. I think that's a friend of mine collects comics. Okay, like big time, huge omnibuses. These big ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're really nice. And some of the art is just fantastic, terrific. And it's worth it. It's worth checking out. But I mean, the real classic superhero stuff just doesn't do it for me. Just seeing these superheroes, they can survive anything. And we're supposed to care about all the issues and this Justice League thing turned into this very surreal, I think it was the Justice League, turned into this very surreal kind of like, well, it's all mythology, really. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but, like these characters kind of define the way we see the world. And so you can just show them in really soft lighting, and that's supposed to be very meaningful. It's like, come on. I mean, no, I kind of would like a story here, No,
but I think I know what you mean. Like with those characters, people can get a little too navel-gazing.
That's a good word. Yeah, I would use that word.
Yeah, especially with DC in comparison to Marvel, which is usually the way people contrast them. Like with DC Comics, it's a lot more, oh, yes, you said this mythicalness. Like these are our betters.
Yeah, it's a bit scary in a way.
Yeah. While with Marvel, it's a bit more, it's ordinary people with powers. With exceptions on both sides, of course. But
oh, big time. Yeah, of course. But yeah. Gotham Central is another one that he lent me, and I was like, "Whoa, this is fantastic!"
But that's great. That's the one with the police, right?
It's mostly about the police.
Yes, I love that. Oh, it's such a good concept.
It's a great comic, man. I mean, like the stories are pretty gripping. Yeah, if you like good artwork as well, you'll be, I think, happy. Yeah. But this is like this. I mean, these are characters. These are actual people that you recognize.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's obviously anything in a story is purposeful. So, like, it's not like these people randomly came together. The writer obviously shows them very specifically.
Yeah.
But they feel good. Like, I don't feel any of them were, how would you call it? Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, right, I need to fill out the roster. Come up, one more character. Like, it feels like, this person's necessary, and they're also interesting in terms of design-wise too, especially since they don't have they have superpowers. They don't have costumes.
Well, you see, I think you said the right thing there. I mean, like the superpowers are secondary, but the characters are the main thing. So, like, yeah, that's Owen. His superpower is to have a shaves the side of his head.
Yeah, but something as simple as that. Yeah, but something as simple as that gives him a design. It's like we mentioned before about Peter Stanchik, how he lacks that design.
Yeah, he lacks all distinguishing features, totally.
Exactly, but in this case, all of these characters. So maybe Martin's the more like not so interesting looking. So like he's sort of what's called a slightly large bald black man.
He looks like the comic. Yeah, he looks like the comic editor in the 90s, Quantum and Woody. Yeah. I am comics editor.
So yeah, but that kind of thing, like, but like clothing choices and even simple things like pink hair on Nikki. It's simple. Yeah, but like simple things are like, yeah, this character, and as we'll see in the next issue, Avi. That's like, well, that's not the common character we see in these stories, so he stands out.
Yeah, he looks awesome. His look is awesome. And even Amanda Livewire, I don't know if I've seen her in this suit. I guess she's always wearing this suit. But it was the first time I noticed, they put her in this like, it's kind of a stylish jacket, with a little padding in there. Okay, whatever.
No, it works. It's again, that's the whole thing. It's all about. I always think about it a bit like the Power Rangers approach.
Oh no! Come on.
No, but it's the because you have you have the 5 Power Rangers, And they, of course, always dress in the color of their supersuit when they're in civilian clothing.
Okay.
Like, heaven forbid that the Red Ranger puts on a blue shirt one day.
You wouldn't notice it was him. Yeah, exactly.
No, but obviously all of his wardrobe is red in some way, all the red tones. But again, it's just a visual motif, it's fun. Like, it's fun to joke about, but it works so well within the, the visual of the story. And same thing here with Livewire, as you said. That jacket she has looks like a real jacket, but the pattern kind of gives the impression of her supersuit.
Yeah, I thought it was her suit, actually. But yeah, you're right. It's just a jacket.
And that's what I mean. That's kind of a cool thing when you can do it like, see, here she is, but the thematics of the character still shines through.
That is very subtle. Come on.
Oh, yeah, no, but that's the thing. Even the subtle stuff. It's like the thing I mentioned, I think it was 2 episodes ago, that line. You didn't notice it, but your brain did.
Issue 2, Livewire and the Secret Weapons kids are holed up in an old theater in Oklahoma. Livewire digs in the internet for dirt on Rexo, the alien robot, who's Harada's project insurance policy for soaking up Psyot mess. The kids take Rexo's knife to the Cheap Jack, a Psyot who can scry an object's history. He gives them a cryptic clue to finding Rexo and tells Owen his love heart balloon is full of hydrogen. Amanda calls and tells them to rescue Avi, fighting off Rexo in the park. With the help of birds, hydrogen, and Rexo's flame gun, they hold out until Livewire's car attack saves the day. They have a team moment, and Avi wanders off to graduate. Amanda Skypes with Ninjak. Meanwhile, the scavenger loves his dog and nurses Rexo back to health with yummy Psyot parts. Yeah, more creepy parts. Creepy endings again.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but the whole setup is creepy. I mean, to get more powers, you have to bathe in the blood of a Psyot. Like, okay.
I wonder where this is going.
Yeah, that's the thing, what else can you really do?
Yeah, it's a framing device, which kind of drives everything along. But in this case, it works, I feel.
Well, again, it's not tonally inconsistent with Valiant. We always kind of joke how Valiant's pretty edgy.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like, oh man, it's too edgy. It's like, no, this is in line.
It's just it's very out there. It's very bad, and makes Harada look even worse than usual, which is good.
Oh yeah, but that's the whole point. It's a man who does whatever he deems necessary.
But in this case, it's his minion, right? That's actually maybe just kind of gone rogue.
Exactly. But even then on that point, though, with Harada, because, he is a bad guy. But consider the fact that he, didn't just kill all of those people. Like all of the rejects.
Yeah.
That cost a lot of money keeping all of that there. And, of course, he has more or less infinite money, so it doesn't matter. But, there might have been a smart thing for him to just kill them off so there's no traces or traitors or something like that. But no, there is still some sense of, sure, he's disappointed, but he's not merciless.
Yeah, no, he's going to just keep them alive until he can feed them to his alien creature.
Well, that was a different thing, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. There's one of the coolest panels in the whole thing. I mean, this issue is full of cool panels. But did you see of course you saw the guy who tells the fortunes of the objects. That looks cool.
And I like powers like that, too. As fun as it is to have powers that are like for combat, I like something like this. That's just so clever.
Totally.
But it's also something that makes me think, oh, man, imagine if he could be like a detective or a police officer.
Right.
Right? He shoots, oh, we found a murder weapon. All right, let's see. I mean,
that point.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that it will solve everything, but you'd get so much information from it.
Well, I mean, I guess there's this the implication is there's this huge underground of all of these Psyots who are out there. He's an activated Psyot. Where did he come from? So he's got to be another reject, maybe, or he's just kind of out there. And there's this whole network of them, apparently. He chooses to work on the, in the flea market instead of for the police, because obviously they'd love to have him. I love that, the way it's got this whole there's a whole world out there.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. And something that I also really like, because I always have these questions about powers, like how they work. I love the fact that Owen asks him to, check the balloon.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of thinking that too, like, like how does this work in the sense of like, okay, is he creating them? Is he stealing them? Like he's teleporting them?
Did you notice the answer that he gives?
Well, yeah. Well, he says that it's his.
He just says it's yours.
Yeah, but it's because it's new. Like there's nothing else to talk about it except that it's with hydrogen. Like there's no history because it was just recently created.
Well, he says it's yours. Doesn't mean that it didn't. Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean that it had no owner originally, or does it mean that now it's yours?
I'd like to think that it means it was like created, that there was no owner previously, because as with the knife that he inspects, he knew so much about it. It's not about, it's not just that it was who owned it, but where it came from the car.
Yeah, but he didn't say it. It's always been yours. He just said it's yours. He didn't say you made it. He just said it's yours. And it's like little touches like that make this really cool.
So yeah, no, that's true. So, but yeah, it's just fun. I mean, it's, again, cool stuff. And I just like exploration of powers like that.
Yeah, totally. That's what you would absolutely do. Like you have to wonder what the heck is going on if you have a strange power. You're not just going to go out and fight crime on the streets, although you would maybe.
Yeah, no, of course, but it's also just the details. Like I always like that when it's, okay, you can control water, but does that mean you can control ice as well? You know what I mean? Like, how does your powers work? And I love exploring that, especially if it comes as like an upgrade to the character.
Yeah, you totally wouldn't get that in a cartoon because steam is very visually different to water.
Exactly. But they do that in Avatar, The Last Airbender.
I knew that was coming.
No, but I did like that when I watched that when I was younger. Heck, even now, I like the fact that water means everything. So you can use your powers to move liquid water, turn it into steam, and then turn them into icicles and throw them at people.
And if it was Valiant, you would have the observation that the human body is mostly water.
Well, they made that observation in the show too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but it was like a forbidden technique, so blood bending.
The forbidden technique, sorry.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool, especially when you see these poor people who can't like control their bodies and like, what are you doing to me?
Oh, geez.
So
scary. Okay.
But man, I love Abby. So he's a lot of fun. Yeah,
he's a totally cool character. Like his personality is great.
So, but the power is so fun because it has such a great limit.
Yeah, the power is so dumb.
Yeah, but still actually useful. Just not, maybe not as varied or useful as it could be. I mean, it's just so much fun. Like the moment whenever like he runs off there and he gets grabbed and just turns into it. I don't know, just really cool. And the fact then that it's clear that it's not just his, his physical body, but also his clothing.
Yeah, totally.
So they mentioned that in the last issue, which I'm kind of like, yeah, that would be a fun exploration. Like, how does it work? Can he touch other things and turn them to stone as he becomes stone?
Definitely, yeah. So it ticks all of the kind of nerdy boxes for you. No, if this had a sequel, it would totally be about like, okay, let's try all the different combinations of all these powers.
No, but exactly, and I like that. I like when they try that. Like, did you ever see the X-Men First Class?
No idea.
So it was the first of the new X-Men movies when it takes place in the 60s.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen it, actually.
So I love that they experiment with, because they kind of have the same thing where they have like, they find these new mutants.
Yes.
And they actually experiment. They actually try them out. Like, okay, try doing this. Or like, I know, let's give you this suit. Then you can fly by using your screaming powers.
Oh, yeah. And there's the blue guy, right?
Exactly. And it's stuff like that. I think it's just kind of fun when they can... Well, yeah, it's just fun when they explore, like when they're methodical about it, if the story allows for it.
Yeah. Again, this is Valiant being, here's what would really happen, guys. If you really gave these guys superpowers. Like first issue of Harbinger back in the 90s, they all the kids are flying around, running from some bad guy or whatever. they land, and then the first thing that Faith says is like, geez, flying is really a pain in the ass, right?
Exactly.
You have all this wind in your face all the time. It's so noisy. It's so cold.
Yeah, no, but exactly. That's the fun thing, and that's what I feel could make things interesting. And well, it's a way to make an interesting take on something that we just take for granted, especially flight in superheroes.
Talking of taken for granted, one or two of these guys already got caught. I think I'm pretty sure that the hardcores must have killed a few of them in the Willows, right? Because they made a mess of this place, and it looks. And I've got a feeling there must have been other people there.
Oh yeah, certainly.
So it's quite interesting to keep track of the body count as this story goes on.
Yeah, no, definitely. But again, it's one of those things that I guess would have to be explored in another story.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I would love, for example, like a great setup for a future villain would be one of the people who was left in the Willows and somehow survived. And now they have misplaced anger at the secret weapons. Like, under impression of, like, you left me there to die.
Okay, so basically Sonya, yeah.
No, but she's already been killed, though, right? Because her powers are already within.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the other one then. Sonya was the one with the thorn fingers.
Right, exactly. That's why he has like those tentacle thorn attacks.
Okay, then there's another one still to Lucia or something like that.
Yeah, right, with the like explosion or fire power.
She's there on the outside, but she's mentioned, but that's all.
So yeah, so she could be that role then, unless they come up with a totally new character, which wouldn't be quite as good, but
it would be nice if she made a new appearance.
Well, again, it's like I said, I like it when characters aren't forgotten. So like I'm still waiting for that nurse from the first series of Bloodshot.
Oh no.
You remember her?
I do.
Like in Harbinger Wars, Bloodshot gives her like an address or like a location where she can find some money and she can now escape with her brother. And she disappears from the Valiant universe. I'm still waiting for her to make an appearance again.
She gets a character write-up in the RPG, Humphrey.
She does. So she was big enough at least to have that.
Yeah, it's funny the perspective that they must have had back then. Like, oh my goodness, this is a big story. Everybody is a big character. So she gets the whole page.
Yeah, but it's stuff like that. I mean, but then also sometimes I totally forget characters. Like in the Bloodshot and the Hardcore. When they go to that, I forget where they went, but they went into like this jungle area.
Okay, yeah.
And the bad guy leader was the former president or like the former CEO of Project Rising Spirit.
Okay.
And I was like, what? I don't remember him at all because he wasn't interesting. Not like Kosol was later.
Yeah, he was just this executive type. Yeah. Exactly.
So I actually went back, I remember, and looked at like the Bloodshot issues and yeah, there we go. He drives off with some, subordinate. So, but the way they did it there, it was too not so noteworthy, and he didn't have the design for it. So I didn't get that feeling when I saw him there, where it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, these are grown-up comics. Come on, you gotta pay attention. There's this whole class of these middle managers looking after Psyops and nanite warriors, and we can relate to that, the people with 9-to-5s.
No, but that's
average life, yeah.
Yeah, but that stuff's fun too. Like, I like it when people make that extra step in thinking about, right, who takes care of that?
And it's the same, these are like these Psyot millennials, they're just like, they never went to college, really. They never really kind of got anywhere. Everybody just wrote them off, but really they're good at heart.
Exactly. And they're going to show those, what's called baby boomers, what's for.
Totally.
So last thing I wanted to mention, and again, this is the stuff I like with these kinds of stories. I love the Ninjak appearance.
Yeah. Why was the Ninjak appearance in there?
That's the point though. It is useless. You could cut this page and nothing would change.
Yeah, you could cut it.
But it helps doing the whole shared universe thing, as I mentioned. Yeah, no, it makes it more clear about the whole, we're kind of focused on these characters now, but we have not forgotten that, there's all these other characters.
Yeah, Amanda has her own problems too.
Exactly, but also the whole fact that, let's check with him. I mean, it's a smart choice to do because, Ninjak has his own intelligence and all that.
Yeah, and actually, it would have made way more sense just to call him in and go after this scavenger guy and just take him down.
Well, yeah, but he mentions that by the time he got there, he'd probably fix it anyways.
Yeah, that's great. You'll be okay. Come on.
Hey, she's a strong, independent woman who needs no ninjak.
Yeah, totally. They have a mature relationship there.
So, but like I said, it's just what makes it fun there, I feel. And also, I always love when they do this stuff with villains. Like, I love the ending of the story with the scavenger going shopping.
Yes.
It's just these little things. Like, he's even like eco-friendly with having his own bag with him.
He's this awful hipster guy with this tied up long hair.
Yeah, and he feeds a dog. Like, aw. And I love when they do that with characters like that. Like, you have someone who is evil, and then they just behave so sweetly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you don't see what happens to the dog. Maybe it's like he's gone through 3 or 4 of these dogs.
No, but I think that's the thing, though. It's like, it's just, I think that's the whole thing. People can be both in a sense. I mean, the classic is always, what's called Hitler was a vegetarian.
You can
that's
be
like
kind of, yeah.
No, but that's the classic thing about how, just because you care about animals or are nice about these things doesn't mean you aren't a monster. So it's the same thing here. It's like, damn. Oh, God. Yeah, oh, man, I didn't even make that connection there. That's Martin's head in the fridge.
I told you, man, it's super dark. This whole thing is so... it's terrifying, man.
Yeah, I mean, I saw like there was a head, but I didn't think specifically it was Martin. I was just kind of like, oh boy, I see there's a foot and a head. But now, like, I saw that it actually was his face there. Like, ugh.
It's scary. Dude, this comic is scary.
Mm.
It's done so well. Yeah, you don't even notice these things if you don't read it twice, I would say.
Yeah, no, that was a nice observation there. I really like that.
Yeah, man.
Issue 3. We see Avi just trying to study at his university, with harassment not only from wearing a turban, but also due to his identity as a Psyot being leaked from the Harada files. He's confronted by some American football players after class who start recording him, but thanks to his power of turning to stone, they just manage to hurt themselves in the process. Meanwhile, Livewire is scouring the internet and sends Owen and Nikki off to help him from a future threat she's predicting. Avi is confronted by an automated anti-Psyot tank and 2 police officers who deem to kill him. But Nikki and Owen manage to save him just in time. Meanwhile, Livewire gets information from Axe, or at Axe, regarding the identity of the scavenger, and gets an old phone number. Nikki, Owen, and Avi escape back to the theater before they find out that Livewire found their enemy, only for her to be captured by Rexo. It was a bit more, as you could tell from the summary, a bit more quick and to the point.
Yeah, this is the action part, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's quite a few pages to that police fight.
This one has some good fights.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's decent. So, but like I said, it's just something about the way they're posed with their attacks and such. I don't know, just not quite the way I like it.
How would you like it?
I don't know what it is. It's just something about the way the poses are. They don't quite feel as dynamic as I've seen like other artists do.
Yeah, it's not. It's realistic, I think. It's actually pretty realistic stuff. It doesn't remind me of a comic book fight at all, like the Divinity fight we did.
Mm.
It was just like big, crazy poses. And this is like just a hustle in the car park, which it is.
So yeah, no, certainly.
I don't know. That's what I like about this. Even the fight scenes are kind of, it's quiet.
Well, yeah, except for the big crunch when he breaks his leg.
Yeah, and that makes the horror of it seem. I always like someone on Twitter was saying, I never read horror books or something like this, like horror comics. And I was like, well, you know what happens in most comics, right? Like people get shot and punched even. That's pretty horrific stuff if you're on the receiving end. If you see that happen to somebody, you're going to be pretty, you're not going to feel good. I think they did a real good job of making this look really horrible. You see this guy's leg bending over. Dude.
Oh, no, certainly. And again, this is another point where it's like a cool use of his powers. Because sure, he can't move when he's in stone. But if he jumps up quickly, has his leg out and then turns to stone. And again, I mean, how much could he weigh there? I mean, like what could he weigh like normally when he's not stone? Maybe 80 kilos?
Right.
Like that would like quadruple if he's marble.
Yeah, and he literally turns to stone.
Exactly. And also all that weight concentrated into a foot.
Yeah.
Like right on the knee there. Like, oof.
Do not do this. Do not do this. Crunch. Yeah. The best comic dialogue as well.
No, but it's a lot of fun. I like everyone has a very clear voice. Like you're not really confusing speech balloons with anyone. I mean, again, they're doing correctly with the arrows or like the tails. But you can tell like, yeah, that's definitely Owen. He has this more relaxed kind of fun way of talking.
Oh, yeah.
Nikki's always very like brash about how she talks. So, and Avi's just very, I don't know, he's very non-confrontational in a fun way. Like it's always...
Right. The rational guy, very cynical, very rational, yeah.
Yeah, he's smart. He has glasses.
He's smart, yeah. No, on the police fight page, I guess we're calling it, the dialogue, what in the kabong? That sums it up for me.
Oh, yeah. Did you get the reference?
It's a movie or something? I don't know.
No, it's an old cartoon from Hanna-Barbera. You know that like horse character, the Great Kabong?
What? Okay.
Yeah, like if you've ever seen this character he's also called Quick Draw McGraw. Like he's this cowboy horse. Like he's just like a cartoon horse.
And he kicks people maybe or?
No, he he dresses up as a sort of Zorro parody called the Great Kabong and hits people with a guitar.
And he shouts kabong.
Yeah, kabong. So I'm assuming that was what they were going for. Though it should have been a guitar then instead of a frying pan.
You see, it works so well that I enjoyed it even without knowing all that stuff.
Well, that's how the best references work. Like it should not be hinged upon the reference. But if you do know the reference, it's fun.
Now it's just hilarious.
So, but yeah, it's fun. I mean, and again, Owen, I like all their powers, but Owen's is fun because it's so unpredictable.
Definitely.
Just suddenly like, oh, there's a thing. Oh, and there's another thing. And
or is it?
Exactly. Yeah, I read the issue 0 as well, so that's kind of cool.
Is it time to drop the issue 0, or do we wait till later?
Later, again.
Later? Okay. Yeah. Then we just have a foreshadowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a nice continued story. I mean, everything feels like it matters. I don't feel anything's too long or worthless. And even the worthless one with the ninjak scene from the previous issue, it's like it's still kind of part of the theme or like the part of the universe. So it's not like it was. It's not like it was terrible.
So I got the single issues, and you actually get a ton of bonus stuff with those.
Oh yeah.
So there's one by Eric Heisserer on writing comics.
Yeah, no, that's in my volume as well.
Oh, cool.
Those are really fun to read because I did know that he was the writer for that movie Arrival.
He's written some good stuff. Yeah. And
yeah, that was a good movie.
He's writing the new Bloodshot movie as well now.
Is he? Him? Well, he wrote in these here that he was writing the Harbinger movie.
Was it Harbinger?
Well, he said so in these writings here. He mentioned it.
Ooh.
And honestly, based on what I was seeing here, like I definitely think he's a good choice because he's definitely understanding like how, again, these characters won't be appearing except for Livewire. But I can tell that this person knows how these characters work. Like it doesn't feel like it was just some guy who Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The guy actually read the comics and then wrote one. Yeah. Yeah, well, some would say that isn't happening right now. Let me just leave it at that.
Oh man, I'm gonna be reading through as much as possible and try to catch up. I'm really curious to see if I can notice the decline, so to speak.
Oof, you're in for some punishment, man.
Oh, isn't that part of any like a superhero comic book reader?
Yeah, definitely. You need something to think about.
Yeah, like, and you have to have that moment where you can then talk about the good old days.
Oh yeah.
Oh, remember before the reboot? Remember before that?
The third or fourth reboot. Which one do you mean?
Yeah, no, I guess in general, like with DC and Marvel as well.
No, with Valiant, literally. Was it the third or the fourth? Garth Ennis, Shadow Man, weird.
Oh yeah, no, that's haven't read that yet, but I'm curious.
Very weird. Issue 4. In his basement lair, the Scavenger prepares a big blender to liquidate Livewire and feed her to Rexo. Dun dun dun. Nikki's birds brief her on Rexo's fatal weakness, until a dog scares them away. Meanwhile, a crow helps Owen find Scavenger's hideout, where he's giving his bad guy speech, explaining his plan to absorb all the Psyoth powers and take down Hardcore. The kids arrive, and Rexo drops Avi in stone skin mode into the sewer water. I think it must be sewer water, maybe? Conjurer drops a piano and a forklift truck on Rexo. Scavenger can't stop talking and gives away his whole plan before Livewire drives a tank through the wall. The kids go home to lick their wounds. Nikki and Owen are in love. Avi feels accepted by Livewire. They're all secretly awesome. Big hug. Curtains. Actually, I just realized, having written curtains there, they're in a theater. So actually, yeah,
it's all coming together.
Maybe they close the curtains.
All coming together.
It all just comes together.
It wouldn't surprise me if that wasn't on purpose. I mean, it sounds like, because again, it seems like this writer is very good at thinking about subtext and foreshadowing and stuff like that.
It's meta, man. It's also meta.
So, but I gotta say, I love the whole thing with Avi in the water.
Yeah, this is like genius. Yeah. This would work so well as a movie.
Yeah, but it's just so cool because I like the fact that Rexo like gets smarter and more powerful.
Right.
Like he fought him earlier and realized, right, I can't quite, damage him, especially now with the others helping him. But, he can't move, so why don't I just dump him down here?
Yeah, I'll take him out.
And that's the whole thing there. Like, so now he has to just be there and keep himself totally static as a statue, or else he dies. But he could never live like that forever either. So it's like, man.
Or could he?
True. Oh, that should be what he should practice on in the, like in his training. How long can he stay like that?
He'll make a great space exploration, 5,000 years later.
No, but see, that's what I mean. It's like, that's what you should do with like powers like this. Explore, like, wait a minute. Like, that could be the thing. He could be the only person maybe who could do some kind of like, travel like that. Like maybe not in space, but maybe like underwater to get to some place, or...
Oh, yeah. They're like,
maybe he could transport something. Like maybe he could like swallow something into his stomach and then turn into stone and then transport a dangerous material over, or...
And then they make him puke it up.
Exactly. I don't know. Just, you can do so much when you make a weird limited power. Because then you have to work around the limits.
How does he see? How does he know when to turn back?
See, that's also where you then have to explore a bit. Like, how does it work?
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, does everything just turn black for a while? Or does he have sort of like an outside observance?
He's turned to stone, like even his eyes, even his ears.
I'd like to think that, I mean, again, it doesn't matter for the grand scheme of things, but it is something that would be fun to explore just to make it more clear. Because it's not so much about what's logical, it's more about, well, which is it?
I got to say, I was thinking just now, why did they put it in this theater? I think you're right. They kind of screwed around with the readers there a bit. I think because you see Livewire putting on all these costumes, and you see the kids a few times putting on like the cowboy hat and all of this stuff, and then they take it off and they're just back to their normal clothes again.
Exactly.
Like you don't need a shirt with a big star on the front, or like a whatever weird helmet or something.
Yeah, no, exactly. Again, it's clear with this writer that again, from the movie too, The Arrival, which was really good.
Okay.
So
I need to see it.
It's pretty good. It gets a bit weird, but in a good way.
Sounds like I should see it.
So, but yeah, no, it was just really nice conclusion. Like, it was still like the whole fear, or not fear, but the whole... Because he mentions it here, let's see, some group who call themselves Omen. And I forget, who are they? Have they been mentioned before?
Yeah, this is the new version of PRS.
Oh, okay. Did I miss that, or...
There's a whole confusing thing in the original Valiant about Omen and Nemo. And they're somehow related to Project Rising Spirit.
Okay, yeah, because Project Rising Spirit, of course, was disintegrated after Bloodshot USA.
Okay, maybe it's that. And Omen takes them over. Omen takes over all the technology.
Okay, I'll have to just read some more then. Maybe it's in one of the other stories then where you get to see that, or...
Yeah, I think there's a moment in one of the Bloodshot stories where you see them taking it over and they're like, ooh, great, I got these big robots and stuff now.
All right.
Just think what we can do. So, yeah, there's some Valiant, like, confusing... there's some confusing middle management changes. That's all I can say.
Well, again, that's part of the fun, too, as you mentioned with, like with the Harbinger stuff, too, with the Psyot caretakers and middle managers.
Yeah.
Because, again, I like that guy who was, sure, he was kind of hard on them, but he was just doing his job. And as he said at the end, like, get out of here. You're good kids. You just get as far away from this place.
The Willow's manager.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, so is now a good time to mention the Zeros, or is it you saving something up?
No, we can mention them. So, because again, this was, pretty, I mean, it all works out, what's called Livewire saves herself. Actually, one point about that, assuming that, since we don't actually see it, but I'm assuming she killed him.
Yeah, I think so. Rexo?
Yeah, well, no, she killed the scavenger.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
And that's, again, another part of the whole Valiant motif. Like, unless you're the Punisher or someone else, you don't have the hero do that in Marvel and DC.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
But that's also the problem, though, which is, like, the problem is with that is that it creates the problem that Marvel and DC avoids. Because now we can't have that character back. Because, that's a cool power as well.
Yeah, thank goodness they won't come back. I mean, seriously, like the 100th time, seriously.
Yeah, no, it depends on the scenario. Like I said, yes, there is the problem with characters like the Joker, where it's like, dude, there is no redeeming value of keeping him alive.
Oh, no, thank goodness, yeah. Thank goodness.
But then there's others who are like more, I don't know, like it's kind of like, well, yeah, they're criminals, but, I don't think we should kill them.
They're iconic.
So, yeah, no, but more like in universe in terms of like, yeah, I don't think Batman should kill this guy just because, he dresses up and scares people.
Yeah, like in is it the first Batman movie where the Penguin is very sympathetic?
The second one.
Is it the second one?
Yeah, with Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Yeah. And like the bad guys are sympathetic. They're just screwed up people.
Oh, yeah, but it's a mix of stuff like that, how you want to do it. But what I mean is it's more about potential future stories more than the character themselves.
Yeah. So. Well, that's it. Any character who's got a kind of shred of dimensions to them is going to have more story potential, I think. Whereas if it's always the same old thing, you're going to get tired.
Oh, no, certainly. But again, it's all about what type of character and their history and powers and stuff. The point is simply that with the Joker, there's just no reason to allow, like everyone points out, Everyone always points out the amount of people he's killed after the last time that Batman let him live.
Right.
It's like, yeah, no, I get the point, Batman. I get your principle. But it's like, no, dude, like, yes, you'd save so many people.
Yeah, maybe just this once.
But whatever. But yeah, the issue zeros were really good.
I was just going to say, just there's too much in there to touch on everything. But when they're trying to make Nikki use her powers, so she has to stare at the rock, and they're like, come on, make the rock break. Come on.
Exactly.
Just use your mind to break the rock.
Yeah, but it's so much fun, though, because it's logical what they're doing, you know? Because they know these are the kinds of powers that exist.
Right. But they have no clue, really, how to make it happen.
Well, yeah, they weren't expecting it to be this quote-unquote useless power. I could see this in the movie version. You know, this would be the fun montage.
This would be so much fun. And just trying out all kinds of stuff, like just trying to do all kinds of stuff. In the end, she finds out just walking in the park, right? So why didn't they try that? You know, just go have a normal day.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, though. You know, it's you know, like Harbinger's this clinical, sterile environment. But I love the park scene. Oh, it's so cute. So it's just the way, they talk. It's just, I don't think she has bread. She's a raw fruit human, I bet. I will take granola. I'm not proud.
Yeah, the bird talk.
It's so cute. It's just like, nice lady. Hey. So pretty lady. Hey, are you half pigeon? It's really adorable.
See, that's what's missing. Yeah, that's what's been missing all this time. That kind of stuff, the cute stuff.
Oh God, and the translation of her crow in the plane. What a bitch.
Oh, translations. I've only just got it. Like the alien language, really? Because of Arrival? Is it because of Arrival?
Oh, so I don't think that was the reason for it, but
No, because someone translated it back when this came out, and apparently that they are real words that Rexo's saying.
Oh, I was talking about the way the bird in the plane.
Yeah, that was cool too.
But so you mean with Rexo? Like, okay, so is that something you can actually read?
Yeah, you can Google that, man. Yeah, somebody wrote this code. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I want to do that. I'm going to search that later.
I knew you'd want to do that. Yeah, you got to do that. And then the tarot cards in there as well. That's super cool as well.
Right, an Owen story. Yeah.
Somebody sat down on a different podcast where they actually like read these things in real time, and they figured out what all of those cards mean. And it has some like meaning for the different characters, you know, like what kind of person they are and stuff like this. That's very sweet as well. Like, it's almost like they wasted all of this, like, like they put all of this detail in there, man, like so much.
In a way, but that's what, again, these kinds of like one shots are good for, because you get the one nice, really, you know, jam-packed story.
Yeah, but like crazy amounts of like really subtle stuff. Like, who's going to notice all this stuff? That's what made me wonder at the start, like who's going to read this closely enough?
Exactly. Though I gotta say, like, as much as I like these two, what's called issue zeros,
yeah,
I felt the character who deserved it was Martin.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, he dies in the first issue.
Yeah, he just
died. You know, off screen at the end, but.
Well, he gets his moment in Owen's story. He gets to be like this nice guy. He's just a buddy. He's a really solid guy.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's, you know, we do get a lot of him there, but I just felt like, damn, this would have been him of all people would have given them like, given him some just due, so to speak, just to like, sorry, we killed you off. Here you go. Here's, you know, an origin story.
I think he's too nice. That's the problem. He's a good guy. He's actually nice and good, and he doesn't seem to have any issues, really.
I suppose. He's fun, though. But with Owen, though, I just love his power there, because it's just so, it's so weird. And I like how Avi points it out, too, with the book.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, but as he points out, like, because again, he wasn't sure about his powers before, about if he's teleporting them. But if he made that, and is that real information then? Does he know all this stuff?
Yeah. Or did he just, like download it from the internet?
Well, it would be. I honestly would think I would love to. Well, not to look through the book itself, but it would be interesting if the book was wrong.
Right.
Like maybe he's not so smart, and this is just his subconscious thinking it.
It's like if you actually read the page, it just says, well, this kind of works like that, maybe.
Exactly.
The internet is basically a system of pipes. That would be great. Yeah. This would be like, again, like the ultimate, detailed, ridiculously detailed tie-in. Like Divinity's coloring book. You get
right.
Things work.
Yeah, honestly, I think I could make do without having a whole book of misinformation.
No, it's not misinformation. It's just like kind of, I don't really know this stuff, but I kind of assume it works like that. Like inside the car, there's just basically a huge rubber band, something like that.
Sure, no, that'd be fun.
I mean, how do you think that electric lights work, Humphrey? Do you really, every time you switch one on, how do you think that actually happens? What happens in there? Is it like a long string or something?
So yeah, no, that would be fun though. Yeah, but again, but what I like too with both issue zeros is just a different kind of like framing device.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite get it at first with the name tags and the prices. I mean, I saw like he had a garage sale, so that was obvious. But then I didn't quite understand like, oh right, the cute doll popped up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's why it said cute doll, because that was on the previous page. So I wasn't like connecting it until I think I went to like the vacuum cleaner.
Oh my goodness. It's about the origin of the things and where they came from and the story.
Exactly. And then he's selling them all.
Yeah, but it's like the guy in the second-hand store as well. His power is to like say where this object came from, right?
Ah, true. Yeah. So here we get like from his own account since, he remembers it.
It's such a cinema trope, though, isn't it? Like a movie trope. You see some close-up of some weird object, like the little toy or whatever. Like, and then you hear the music, da da, and then the next thing you see is somebody carrying the toy or whatever, and something dramatic happens.
Yeah, it's like a flashback.
Like a flashback, or like one of those symbolic moments. I can't wait for this movie to come out, man.
Yeah, or a series. Like, because the good thing here is that their powers aren't too, what's called high budget.
I meant the Bloodshot movie. Same writer.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
But okay, this would be a great series.
Yeah, because again, it's kind of low key enough. Like the toughest, I guess, would be to have both real and the CG birds for Nikki. And I guess it wouldn't be too tough to do, but you'd still have to have like this whole thing to make the stone effect for Avi. Oh,
the stone effect would be cool, yeah.
But like Owen, you just need to like edit in these props,
You could imagine with some like cheap effect, right? You even see the editing.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's not there. Yeah, like in the old days,
it's there. Like what the heck?
Exactly. Like what was her name? That one show, Bewitched was one of them, but there was the other one with the genie. I Dream of Genie. That's right.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah, they would do that thing where there's nothing there, then like they point,
and then it's there.
Yeah, but you can always see a little bit on the actors, even though they were told to stand perfectly still. You always see a little bit of a shift.
That would be the best effect for this. Just as an ongoing gag. Oh no, not now. Ding! A gun. Great. In the store.
But this was really fun though. Again, for a 100th issue, it was like really good, even though it was technically a lot of new characters.
And
like
on a high point. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but like it fit very well in this and stuff.
If this was the last thing that Valiant ever did, I would be happy.
Well, I mean, again, depends on the scenario, I guess, especially since you seem to be disappointed with their recent outings. But like for me, I'd probably be angry in a sense of like, there's so much more to do.
Oh, there is so much more to do, yeah.
But it is a nice, like, I like the fact that it does end, like there's a bit of a mystery still, like what to do, but like the story's complete. It's not like a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, it's kind of complete. I mean, it's kind of a happy ending, which is kind of bad in comics, right?
Well, both good and bad. Like, because again, the problem is people get apathetic when it's always bad. Like I remember in an older episode with Chris, I mentioned how a lot of people are a bit annoyed with how much they shit on Peter Parker in Spider-Man. Like, yes, we get it. It's fun to see him struggle. But sometimes it doesn't feel like a natural struggle. It really feels more like it's just a writer wanting to like be an asshole.
Absolutely.
And people just get like, come on. Like he was doing fine. Why did you have to have this happen to him?
If you have a happy ending, that's an ending.
Yeah, but they have a little bit of a thread left, the whole Omen thing about them learning their powers. It's more like a new beginning.
Yeah, I guess. But, no conflict. You're not going to sell any books.
Oh, certainly.
It would have been interesting to see what would have happened.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, this was just really good. Like I had a really good time reading this because I knew very little. I mean, my only disappointment was Martin, dying so soon because like I remember he was mentioned a lot in the previews.
Okay.
So I was kind of like really looking forward to see how his powers could be used.
I mean, his I guess he has a superhero name. It's what? LED?
Oh, that would be nice. Kind of like, that'd be cool.
It's, what is it? Glow bug? Firefly?
Yeah,
Firefly.
Plenty of things you can do.
What can you do? I light up like a firefly.
Exactly. Ah, man. That's the movie scene because they rarely call them by their superhero names in the movies.
Right.
Like so few times they say Iron Man. It's always Tony, Steve.
Yeah.
But in the comics, it's always Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk,
Firefly. Quick. Oh wait, no, the other guy. You do something.
All right. So, but I think that's about it.
Yes, we did it. We made it to 100.
Exactly. And I have a bit of a disclaimer to the people listening here. This will be, at least for the time being, the last episode of Hardcast.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I did warn you, Michael.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I know. So, no, but just, this was something that I started with Chris, because we wanted to try to do something together. And we've had a lot of fun with it, but with this change, then with me moving out and yes, the issues with both our schedules and such.
Yeah, look at it this way.
It's been difficult to keep it going, and that kills the momentum. And for me, I just wanted to reach 100 episodes just to kind of like really, it's a nice rounded 3-digit number.
It's an awesome number, Humphrey. It's a big achievement.
Yeah, and I really want to thank you, Michael, for stepping in for this. You've been a great guest on this.
Hey, I've been your fan, so...
You were perfect.
What was I supposed to do? Say no? Come on.
The perfect candidate.
Yeah.
No, but it's just, I want to thank all the listeners because, I do know we have more than just you and I always forget the Reddit guy, the Cliff something.
Yeah, Reddit guy.
So yeah, Cliff's our Ferg something. Yeah, either way.
Ferg something. Ferg
yeah, you're really cool too.
Yeah, man.
And I know we have a few more people than you guys, just based on the downloads from Podbean. So like we always average at least around 15 or so. So there's a few people listening.
And I just want to thank Chris, of course, and yourself for starting this up. It's been great fun listening all the way through. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Right, and also a reminder to the listeners. So Chris made an update on the Podbean about it, but I'll mention it here as well. The deadline for the payment for Podbean for like the subscription is in the beginning of March. And we're not going to be paying it anymore since we're not going to be updating anymore. So for those people who want to preserve these episodes, download them all now because they will be gone from that hosting site by the beginning of March.
Are you going to be selling like a CD of the whole thing?
What's a CD?
Yeah, I'll explain that sometime. Yeah, it's like 90s tech.
Yeah, no, of course. No, I mean, I'll have my own copies of it, just because I'm a digital hoarder.
Good.
So, but but just for those people who, for whatever reason, next year were sitting down and thinking, you know what, I want to listen to Harbinger Volume 3 podcast of the Hardcast.
I just missed that music, man. I just missed the music.
Oh, well, I'll mention that to my father who made it.
Nice.
Actually, no, it's Chris's brother who made the first part, like the lifeline sound.
Oh, that's good though.
Yeah, no, I was so surprised when he had it. Not in terms of like, wow, he can do that, but it's more like, damn, that actually sounds what I would imagine it sounding.
That's how it really sounds. Yeah.
So, and the ending theme is from my father. So he took it from. It's actually supposed to be as music for like a newsroom.
Okay, so it kind of fits.
Yeah, no, but that's like, again, it was his attempt at making one of those, like, the whole news at 11, dun 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 dun. And the camera swoops around in the news anchor room. So yeah, that's I always liked having that music in there and the sound effect. It made it a little nicer. So, but yeah, it's a little solemn ending to this episode. But I'm really glad that we went for this volume. It was a good choice. I thank you for the recommendation, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for choosing it. Thanks for doing it.
And just a little, I guess, a side note for people too. This was not the original planned 100th episode.
Oh no.
We tried. Yeah, I just thought we'd share it since we were not going to talk more about it later.
Okay, the lost episode.
Yeah, we have a lost episode where I met up with Chris in August, and we decided that we were going to record the 100th episode with Michael as like our special guest. So we were supposed to do this whole recording there, and we didn't quite get it all right. So
you can still hear it if you listen to episodes 4, 8, 15, 23, and 42. If you put those all together, think about it. Okay, never mind. You get the lost episode.
Yeah, no, the thing, we're basically missing Michael's audio, and we don't blame him because, we really should have thought of a better way of recording it.
No, dude, it was no one's fault. Come on.
Exactly. But it is a pity, though, because we found out the way we've been recording now is through Skype. Like, Skype actually lets you record from the program itself now. And I found out the feature was available back when we were trying to do the 100th episode recording.
Oh.
So it's such a pity that we didn't know about it.
That's harsh. But,
yeah, because it was really new. It came out like in July of last year.
Now I know about it. Maybe I'm going to do my own thing if I can ever get how you're meant to upload to iTunes.
Sure. I mean, if you ever do, definitely tell me because, after all the time you've been listening to us, I definitely wouldn't mind hearing your take on things.
Nice, man.
And also, I forgot to mention, the 100th episode was supposed to be Savage.
Yeah. Valiant's own answer to Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Exactly. And it was a lot of fun, too. But I feel Secret Weapons turned out to be a better 100, I think. Because it was a bit more closer to the characters we know.
Yeah, definitely.
Except for the whole far away setting in Savage, it had nothing to do with Valiant.
Ending on an up note.
Exactly. But yeah, again, thanks again. I mean, would you like to do the honor of saying the usual thing, except for the last part?
Okay. This was the 100th episode of podcast detailing secret weapons. For previous episodes, check out the link in the show note.
Thank you again, Michael, and so stay valiant.
Stay valiant, people.